I request you to kindly take your seat. Good morning, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Embassy of India, Tokyo, I hereby welcome you to join us for the occasion of Constitution Day. As said by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the Constitution is not a mere layers of document. It is a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of age. The Constitution, ever since its adoption in 1949, has been the foundation of what India has achieved. So without further ado, let's take a moment to acknowledge India's achievements.
This point are providing confirmation of the safety of the landing site.
As expected, the retargeting is going on, and this is a very good signature for the lander. अभी आप ये देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 65 मीटर के आसपास बची हुई है.
Currently, only 2 engines are now being fired, and we are nearly at zero velocity, vertical and horizontal. We were hovering, and now we are approaching the moon's surface.
धीरे धीरे लैंडर की वेगमान को कम किया जा रहा है और हम अब लगभग 50 मीटर से भी कम आ चुके हैं.
We can see the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who is here to encourage us, and he is critically looking at the visuals.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल.
People are applauding. Let us all wait to hear from the Secretary Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा के सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है. ये हम लोगों के लिए बहुत ही गर्व की बात है. हिंदी में एक कहावत है,
G20 के प्रेसिडेंट के तौर पर भारत आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत करता है. भारत की G20 प्रेसिडेंसी देश के भीतर और देश के बाहर इंक्लूजन का, सबका साथ का प्रतीक बन गई है. आप सबकी सहमति से मैं अफ्रीकन यूनियन के अध्यक्ष को G20 के स्थायी सदस्य के रूप में अपना स्थान ग्रहण करने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं. नई दिल्ली G20 लीडर्स समिट डिक्लेरेशन पर सहमति बनी है. संपूर्ण विश्व में आशा और शांति का संचार हो। 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की इसी मंगल कामना के साथ आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
India is the largest democracy in the world. The Indian Parliament is one of the significant symbols of our democracy, where all the representatives elected by the people gather to deliberate on issues for the benefit of the people. Let's have a quick look at the newly constructed Parliament of India. Now, I request His Excellency Shri C.V. George, Ambassador of India to Japan, to kindly read the preamble and to address the gathering.
Good morning, everybody. So, before I start, let me mention we have children from the schools in Japan. We have also a group of children who have come from India here present. I just had the pleasure of interacting with them. They are here on a week-long visit. So let's welcome them also. And of course, the officers from the embassies present here. Today we are observing the Constitution Day here. It is on November 26th, but we are celebrating it today. My dear children, teachers, ladies and gentlemen, my greetings on the occasion of the Constitution Day of India. It was on November 26, 1949. 299 members of the Constituent Assembly of India formally adopted the Constitution of India in New Delhi. Since its first meeting in December 1946, the Constituent Assembly took 2 years, 11 months, and 17 days to complete the task of finalizing the Constitution. Let's, for a moment, think about the many challenges that generation of India faced. They were determined to take India out of several centuries of oppression and colonial rule. They were determined to establish a sovereign, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual. The future of 1/6 of the population of the world and several generations to come were in their hands, and they delivered. What came out of their long deliberations in the Constituent Assembly was one of the most unique constitution in the world, which provided a framework for peaceful governance of our motherland and its emergence as beacon of hope in the Committee of Nations. It emerged as a role model format to many new independent nations all across the world. That makes November 26, our Constitution Day, a very important day in our nation's history and in the history of the world. It is the framework within which India re-emerged as a major power, overcoming the suppression and slavery imposed on 1/6 of the total population of the world, and that spanned for several hundred years. This constitution has also provided India the necessary framework to which contributed to India's achievements in diverse fields, including atomic energy, space science, agriculture, biotechnology, and information technology, for which India is well known the world order. It's a matter of pride for an ambassador to say with confidence that the economic and scientific transformation that India achieved was under a constitution which guarantees liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status, and of opportunity. Dear friends, India today is a land of a billion opportunities. India has overtaken China as the most populous country in the world. In India, we speak different languages. We worship different gods. We eat different food. We wear different clothes. But there is a feeling of oneness and common consciousness that keeps us together. Make us proud of our nation, India. We need to take a deep look at day-to-day life in India to understand the importance and influence of our constitution. Every day, it is the Constitution of India that gets celebrated when a democratic election takes place in any part of India. Every day, it is the Constitution of India that gets celebrated when we conduct our day-to-day life in peaceful and orderly manner. Every day, it is the Constitution of India that gets celebrated when we conduct our examinations all across the country on the basis of merit. Its influence and impact is so deep at everything in India. Today, we remember the members of the Constituent Assembly, its president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, its chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and many other leaders who gave us this constitution. We will now together read the preamble of our constitution to join hands with 1.4 billion brothers and sisters to celebrate our constitution. Each word of the preamble has a great meaning, great message, a message that enshrines the values of our history and our freedom struggle. May I request you to rise and join me in reading the preamble. Please read after me. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite everyone to participate in the Constitution Day quiz. In this quiz, there are 7 questions. The questions will be displayed on the screen. Those who would like to answer should raise their hands. Prizes will be given to the winners. Okay, first question. When was the Indian Constitution adopted? Okay. Yes. Okay.
November 26, 1949.
Congratulations. For those who got the right answer, please remember. Okay, next question. Who illustrated the Indian Constitution? I think we'll go alternatively to the
Nandlal Bose.
That's correct. Congratulations. Next question. How much time did it originally take to complete the Indian Constitution?
Two years, 11 months, and 18 days.
That's congratulations. Next question. How many amendments have been made to the Indian Constitution so far?
The right answer is 108. 106.
That's correct. Congratulations. Next question. Which of the following ideals in the preamble emphasizes the unity and integrity of the nation?
The answer is fraternity.
Congratulations. Next question. This is not a multiple choice. Sorry, it is. Who is the father of the Indian Constitution?
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Congratulations.
So we have one last question after this with no option.
What does the preamble to the Indian Constitution start with?
You already answered. We the people of India.
Congratulations. Now I invite His Excellency Ambassador Sri C.V. George to kindly felicitate the winners of the quiz. So those who got the questions right, please queue up in front of the stairs. Thank you, sir, and thank you to all the enthusiastic participants. I request His Excellency Ambassador to kindly remain on stage for photo session with the students and teachers. So first, students and teachers of UIA International Schools, please come to the stage.
You can put ambassador to center to divide yourself. Okay. Yes. One, two, three.
Thank you. Teachers and students of GIIS, please come to the stage.
Yeah. Hello. Excuse me. You can stay here. Those taller students can stay in front here. Those taller students can stay in front.
Thank you. And now the students who are visiting Japan from India, please come to the stage. Thank you. And now I request all the staffs of Thank you. Now I request all officers and staffs of the embassy to join for a photo session. Thank you, His Excellency Ambassador, and thank you to all the officers. Now we would like to give you a virtual tour of the efforts of our forefathers for drafting the Indian Constitution. You all might be surprised to know that the Indian Constitution is the largest written constitution in the world.
Namaskar. DD India brings to you this special presentation chronicling India's constitution and its legacy. I'm Sakal Bhatt. From the very idea of India to becoming the largest democracy of the world, from very inception of intricacies of federalism to drafting rule of law which runs the country. This is a story of Indian Constitution's transitioning legacy. Constitution of India defines every Indian. Indian Constitution ensures decision makers on behalf of public fairly represent public opinion, and those who wield or exercise power are held accountable to the people they serve. Central idea of the Indian Constitution is to separate and delegate between the three branches of governance: the legislature, the executive, and judiciary, and the defining parameters of our politics, of our society, and even our economics. First time on Indian television, we travel back in time and take you back to the golden era from where it all started. DD India presents before you We the People of India, India's Constitution and Legacy.
भारत का संविधान ऐसा है जो प्रत्येक नागरिक के अधिकारों और सम्मान की रक्षा करता है, और यह हमारे संविधान निर्माताओं की दूरदर्शिता की वजह से ही सुनिश्चित हो सका है।
About 77 years ago, a historical journey culminated into the birth of Indian Constitution, the one of its kind. The founders of the Indian Constitution enshrined Bharat as a democratic republic nation. For almost 200 years, India was ruled by the Britishers. The first thrust for freedom came in the form of revolt of 1857 or Sepoy Mutiny. Energized by this rebellion and keeping up the momentum, a national movement of wresting independence from the British colonialists was born, which galvanized the entire nation. The Indian independence movement began during the World War I and was led by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, fondly called Bapu. On August 15, 1947, India got its freedom. Ending an almost 200-year British rule. India attained independence following the national movement noted for its non-violent resistance and civil disobedience. On August 1940, C. Rajagopalachari's demand for a constituent assembly was accepted by the British. For every 10 lakh people, there was one representative. The Constituent Assembly was formed with 296 representatives from British India. These 296 representatives included some notable torchbearers of Indian independence movement such as Sarojini Naidu, Hansa Mehta, Durgabai Deshmukh, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Sanjay Phake, Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, and Nalini Ranjan Ghosh, among others.
Indian Constitution's endurance is attributed to its design and the care with which it was crafted. And even before independence in 1946, an elected Constituent Assembly of nearly 300 members spent 4 years debating and defining every aspect of the Constitution. There were more than 10 sessions of the Constituent Assembly. The framers of the Indian Constitution believed that given India's diversity, the country needed strong and stable government.
The Constituent Assembly of India met for the first time on December 9, 1946. This was the beginning of the historical journey leading to the creation of the Constitution. December 11, 1946, Second meeting of the Constituent Assembly. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the President and Harendra Mukherjee was elected as the Vice President, while Benegal Narasingh Rao was chosen as the Constitutional Advisor of the Constituent Assembly. On December 13, 1946, former Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, presented an objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly underlining the principles of the Constitution. Thereafter, on 4th of July 1947, the Indian Independence Bill was introduced in the British House of Commons and passed within a fortnight. This was a historical moment in the annals of the history of India as it provided for the end of British rule. The day was August 15, 1947. On January 22, 1947, objective resolution was unanimously adopted by the Constituent Assembly, which later came to be known as Preamble of the Constitution. The Constituent Assembly appointed 13 committees assigned with different tasks of constitution making. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar led the drafting committee, and the Assembly met in sessions which were open to the public for at least 166 days over a period of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. This till Constitution of India was adopted finally in 1949. On 26 November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India adopted the Constitution of India, and it came into effect on 26th of January 1950. The 2-month period between the adoption and the enforcement of the Constitution was used for a thorough reading and translation from English to Hindi.
Our Constituent Assembly is meeting in difficult circumstances. We see signs of strife in many places in this unfortunate land. But other countries too, when they elected their Constituent Assemblies and asked it to frame constitution for them, were faced with similar difficulties. And the assemblies were able, in spite of them, to frame constitutions which were acceptable to the people at large, which have become, in course of time, an invaluable heritage for the people of those lands. There is no reason why we should not succeed also similarly. All that we need, all that we require is honesty of purpose, firmness of determination, a desire to understand each other's viewpoint, a resolve that we shall do justice, that we shall behave as fairly, as fairly as possible towards everyone else.
The members of the Constituent Assembly signed 2 handwritten copies of the document, one each in Hindi and English, on January 24, 1950. 2 days later, the Constitution of India became the law of the land, with several critical issues being debated, including language, rights, minorities, governance structures, and many more. It was on November 25, 1949, the day before the Constituent Assembly wound up its proceedings, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made a moving speech. After all, India had arrived. India now had its own constitution.
In order to induce every party, every section in this country, it would be an act of great statesmanship for the majority party, even to make a concession to the prejudices of people who are not prepared to march together. It is for that that I propose to make this appeal. Let us leave aside slogan. Let us leave aside words which frighten people. Let us even make concession to the prejudices of our opponent. Bring them in so that they may willingly join with us on marching upon that road, which, as I said, if we walk long enough, must necessarily lead us to unity.
Well, constitution makers of our country were some of the wisest and most talented people. It consisted of top-level jurists, scholars, legal luminaries, and freedom fighters. They were the best that any country could have.
The merit of the constitution maker was recognized by the Baroda. He gave him gift, and slowly and gradually that gentleman prepared the basis of the constitution and gave us the fundamental rights as well as equality in the society, which we are either to enjoy.
The Constitution of India lays down the framework demarcating fundamental political code, structure, procedures, powers, and duties of the government institutions, and also sets out fundamental rights, directive principles, and the duties of the citizen. It is the longest written constitution of any country on the earth.
This great constitution has kept this country together and has kept the spirit of democracy alive and helped people to understand each other. It's a great day in the history of this country.
It does not fall in the line of any model of the existing constitution. It cannot be called entirely federal in the sense the word is used. It cannot be called presidential. It cannot be called parliamentary because it is a mixture of presidential and parliamentary, a mixture of unitary and federal.
Framers of the Constitution believed a parliamentary system could provide a strong, stable, and accountable government that is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Therefore, India adopted a system as the administrative head of the government, and independent judiciary is responsible for upholding laws here. The Constitution provides for a parliamentary form of government which is federal in structure with certain unitary features. The constitutional head of the executive of the Union is the President of India. And as per Article 79 of India's Constitution, the Council of the Parliament of the Union consists of the President and two houses known as the Council of States or Rajya Sabha and the House of the People or Lok Sabha.
The Indian Constitution derived best practices and policies from one of the best constitutions around the world. The concepts of liberty, equality, and fraternity were taken from the French Constitution. The concept of five-year plan was taken from the then USSR. The directive principles were taken from Ireland, and the laws on which the Supreme Court functions were taken from Japan.
The Constitution is a unique document which was prepared after considerable research from various other constitutions of the countries.
After attaining independence, India was on course of development path, and over a period of time, the Indian Constitution also underwent several changes. It moved with the changes in time. There have been 104 amendments of the Constitution of India since it was first enacted in 1950. When the Constitution was adopted in the year 1949, there were no provisions regarding fundamental duties to the citizens, though there was a Part 3 for fundamental rights. The fundamental duties of citizens were added to the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment in 1976 with the understanding that steps needed to be taken to ensure then the individual did not overlook his duties while exercising fundamental rights.
So 11 fundamental duties are most crucial, and if there is any lesson that we have to learn from the Constitution, it is to discharge our fundamental duty as citizens.
The Constitution gives protection to every citizen of the country, regardless of faith, customs, and religious beliefs. Minorities and citizens belonging to underdeveloped societies.
The preamble was amended only once on 18 December 1976, with most of the opposition being jailed during the emergency in India. The Indira Gandhi government pushed through several changes in the 42nd Amendment of the Constitution. Through this amendment, the words like socialist and secular were added between the words sovereign and democratic, and the words unity of the nation were changed to unity and integrity of the nation.
One thing that was added during the emergency, and which is not often spoken of, and which was the most desirable change, was the chapter, the part on fundamental duties. Fundamental rights were there, but fundamental duties of the citizen were not mentioned in our Constitution.
The nation comes together every year since 2015 to celebrate its constitution on day it was adopted, November 26. November 26 is no less than a movement across various departments and verticals in the Government of India. To celebrate the Constitution Day, the preamble of the Constitution was also read in all schools by all students. Overseas Indian schools also celebrated 26 November as the Constitution Day.
Our Constitution is great because of two things. Number one, as I said earlier, it is the greatest national integrational force. It guarantees individual dignity and individual rights.
The world is changing at a fast pace. In 5 years from now, everything will change. Disruptive scientific technologies are going to usher in an era of unprecedented technological explosions. And the developing countries will flounder in their ability to cope with the change. That requires imaginative, strong, purposive administrations. I wish all of you, particularly the Doordarshan, a great time in propagating the great values of our national inheritance.
People of India are the ultimate custodians of the Constitution. It is them that sovereignty vests, and it is in their name that the Constitution was adopted. The Constitution empowers the citizens, but the citizens too empower the Constitution by following it, by adhering to it, by protecting it, and by preserving it to make it more meaningful with words and deeds. The Constitution is nobody's preserve. The Constitution of India is every Indian's preserve. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Jai Hind.
People of India are the ultimate custodians of the Indian Constitution. It is in them that sovereignty vests, and it is in their name that the Indian Constitution was adopted. The Constitution of India empowers its citizens, but the citizens too empower the Constitution by following it, by adhering to it, by protecting it, and by preserving it to make it more meaningful with words and deeds. The Constitution of India is nobody's preserve. The Constitution of India is every Indian's preserve. It is everybody's preserve. Jai Hind.
Please stop the video.
So, dear students, thank you for patiently sitting through. And first of all, I would like to ask how many of you really felt that it was very informative for all of you to be here today? And yes, thank you so much. And one more thing I would like to actually discuss. So, in this video, you saw they have been telling that there have been 104 amendments. So, basically, this video was made last year. So, now I have one bonus question for all of you. Which is the last amendment, that is the 106th amendment in the Constitution of India, which was made recently, just 2 months ago? Anybody? So we do have 106 amendments as on date. So which was the last amendment? So it was made just recently in September 2023, and it actually gained a lot of attention worldwide because it was very special. Yes. I'm giving you a clue. It attracted worldwide attention for being very special because India believed in equality not only among the classes but also among the genders. Now, this is a big clue for all of you. Maybe can you give them the mic so that I can hear?
It was something related to women's equal rights.
Can you say the exact thing?
Women amendment. I don't remember the exact.
Yes. Where?
In Lok Sabha, there was 33% reservation of seats for women in the House.
Yes. So I in the last amendment that happened on, I think, 28 September 2023 was that India made 1/3 of reservation for women as a representative of the people of India in the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha, and the State Assembly. So that is why this amendment gained worldwide attention. I was surprised. I was traveling in a metro in Japan and it was flashing in the metro. Like every 1 second it was flashing. So even I was very surprised, why. So I asked some Japanese person, do you see what is this? This is wow. India is so concerned about women. So that is what our constitution is about. So when we say equality, we say fraternity. So we take all the people together along with us, be it women, be it men, be it people from any gender, class, society, any nation. And that is also India's ideal of Vasudev Kutumbakam that we have been propagating through our G20 presidency. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you will all carry back a lot of lessons from today's session. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon. And now we invite you to please join us for refreshments in the foyer. Thank you.
Yes.